plaguing us, bruh.
It's time now for the People's War Radio Show, where we do talk about the main virus,
and that is colonialism.
Down with the colonial virus. Down with the colonial virus. Colonial virus is why I can't live. Colonial virus is why I can't breathe. Colonial virus, yo, that thing gotta go. We don't wanna have to deal with this virus no more.
Every week here on the People's War Radio Show, we talk with healthcare workers,
activists,
revolutionaries,
authors,
teachers,
and regular people from the African community.
We aim to bring you an African internationalist analysis on all things important to winning our freedom from colonialism.
The root of all our problems.
Why I'm poor. The colonial virus keeps me at war. The colonial virus, yo, that thing gotta go. We can't take no more of this colonial virus.
Down with the colonial virus.
Colonial virus. Down with the colonial virus. Y'all can talk about all these viruses, and that's good, but you can't forget the main one. It's plaguing us, bro. Down with the colonial virus. 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 Colonial virus is why I can't live. Colonial virus is why I can't breathe. Colonial virus, yo, that thing gotta go. We don't wanna have to deal with this virus no more. Down with the colonial virus. 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 The colonial virus is why I'm poor. The colonial virus keeps me at war. The colonial virus, yo, that thing gotta go. We don't wanna have to deal with this virus no more. So we say, down with the colonial virus. 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 COVID-19, that's colonial virus. Ebola disease, that's colonial virus. HIV, that's colonial virus. Jovenel Moïse, that's colonial virus. Domestic violence, that's colonial virus. Sexual violence, that's colonial virus. Horizontal violence, that's colonial virus. State violence, that's colonial virus.
Uhuru, everybody, uhuru. I'm Dr. Matsemela Odom of the People's War Radio Show. I'd also like to welcome Dexter Mlimwengu. Dexter Mlimwengu recently joined our team here at the People's War Radio Show. He's a team member, he's a host, and promotions coordinator who's going to tell you all a lot of real interesting updates about the People's War Show. Uhuru, Dexter.
Uhuru, Matsemela. Yeah, I'm really happy to be here. As Matsemela said, I started out over promotions, and just really happy to have been asked to come aboard as a co-host as well. So I'm really just charged to be here today. Uhuru.
Uhuru, yeah. So you're asking why are we here right now? First off, I'd also like to salute Elikia and Goma, the maestra of the Uhuru movement, who wrote and performs our theme song that you all just heard. And I'm pretty sure you all look forward to hearing every week. Just like Dexter recently said, he can't get enough of this song.
Absolutely.
So I'd also like to shout out Empress Livewire, whose voice you hear on the intro and the outro. Thanks to Ahipsa as well, who contributed her voice and did the production work on our intro and outro. Ahipsa started volunteering with Black Power 96.3 FM radio when she was only 14 years old as a volunteer, and is one of Black Power 96's many volunteers who participate from all over the world. And lastly, did we not shout out Jaja? We got to give a shout out to Jaja Robinson. Jaja is the mixing master genius behind a lot of the production of the show. Really taking the show to another level.
Uhuru. Yeah. Shout out to Jaja. Shout out to everybody we have on this team. And yeah, I want to shout out to everybody for tuning in today. Black Power 96 is an institution that we all need to be supporting. Because basically, it's ours, right? Right, Matsemela? I mean, it's ours. You can't say that about much. It's an independently owned and operated Black Power radio station in the hands of the Black community, and that's no small feat at all. And that's what makes it, really significant in this whole war of ideas that we engaged in. Because, I know if anyone's not familiar with the war of ideas, basically we're talking about the ideas of the oppressor versus the ideas of the oppressed. When you think about negative thoughts you may have about yourself as an African, everything from your negative thoughts about your skin, your hair, your family, your community, and our ability to govern ourselves. That's all because we've been really soaking up the ideas of the oppressor, for our lives. And Black Power 96 is a really powerful weapon in our own hands, in the Black community's hands, because it instructs us on, it gives us information that we need to arm ourselves in this war of ideas, and just gives us all the information we need as far as organizing and being able to govern for ourselves and do for ourselves. So everybody needs to be supporting this institution. Not to mention just all the skills that go into maintaining Black Power 96, and we take these skills and we're able to give them to members of our community. All these different skills that may have previously only been available to us if we were to pay X amount of thousands of dollars to go to school for these skills, if they're even available to us at all, from audio tech stuff, engineering, a lot of stuff that may be alien to me. I know that if tomorrow I want to go and learn those skills, I can just pick up the phone and call up Black Power 96 and we can arrange something for me to go and learn those skills. So Black Power 96, yeah. So this is a really important institution for all of us to support. Not to mention you artists, all you hungry artists out there that are looking for a platform to give your music some exposure. I mean, who are you going to take your music to other than Black Power 96? Who are you going to trust with your music other than Black Power 96? So we all have a vested interest in making sure that this institution continues to grow.
Uhuru, yeah. So speaking of that, also we'd like to salute DJ Eddie. DJ Eddie, the world's best blind DJ out of Black Power 96. DJ Eddie is the station manager. If you're hearing this broadcast and you'd like to contribute to Black Power 96, go on down to the station right now in St. Pete, and you can even deliver your donation in purpose. So during today's special broadcast, we intend to raise $600 for Black Power 96. We're calling on you, the listeners and the supporters of the People's War radio show, to help Black Power 96 stay on the air and grow stronger every day. Black Power 96 has just completed its July member fund drive. It's July member drive in which it exceeded its initial goal of $7,000. Now, the People's War show was not able to conduct our webinar to reach our $600 goal for the station during that time. So now we have an opportunity to support our Black Power radio station to reach even higher. So let's go on and do that. The People's War Show is produced by Black Power 96.3 FM in St. Petersburg, Florida. It's distributed to radio stations around the US. You can listen on the Black Power 96 mobile app on your Android or Apple device from wherever you are. Or you can even go to our website and at blackpower96.org and stream Black Power 96 live. Now, we call on you, our listeners and supporters, to donate today during this special broadcast by going to blackpower96.org/donate. blackpower96.org/donate. Also, if you are a Facebook friend of mine and you would like to donate for my birthday fundraiser, which is live as well, another way through which you can donate to Black Power 96 is literally going to my Facebook page, Matsemela Odom, and clicking on my Facebook, my Facebook fundraiser that you will see right at the top of my page. Black Power 96 is a project of the African People's Education and Defense Fund, the baddest nonprofit on the planet. So all of your donations are tax deductible. Black Power 96 radio is really, really important, just like Dexter was talking about why you should support it. It's a media outlet that serves the Black Power movement. It's just like Dexter was talking about, it's powerful in the war of ideas. It's independent. There's no corporate control. For those of you all who listen to our show, you know that there's no corporate control or political censorship. Training, it's a great training ground and opportunity for unsigned talent. We have this thing called Local Going Global, our weekly Local Going Global contest. So to give, once again, you can go to blackpower96.org/donate. If you're in St. Pete, you can actually go straight down to the Uhuru House and give your donation. Or if you're listening live and you don't want to do that, you can call 888-979-2796. 888-979-2796, which is actually BP96. So 888-979-2796, or go to blackpower96.org to donate.
So the People's War Radio Show, it was launched as part of our movement's People's War campaign against the COVID pandemic, which we refer to as the colonial virus. Our first episode aired April 4th, 2020. And that week we produced our 69th episode. So we want to shout out comrades Achara and Matot for serving as hosts in the launch of this important show before handing it over the reins to myself and Matsemela. The People's War Radio Show on Black Power 96 FM, it brings you stories and the African internationalist perspective that helps us understand what's happening in our world and unites the African nation across the globe. Over the past few months, we've had guests from South Africa. We've summed up the assassination of the Haitian president. We've covered the discovery of mass graves of indigenous children in Canada. We talked about the achievements and the controversy surrounding Black women athletes in the Olympics, the 2020 Olympics. We went to Houston to learn about the Omawale Kafing Juneteenth Festival. We talked about Black History Month in June. We covered the One Africa, One Nation farmers market in St. Louis. Fought against food insecurity and food apartheid going on. We covered the struggle of the Black community to take back the dome, the Tropicana field in St. Pete that was built by destroying the gas plant's historical Black community. We welcome Palestinian activists to talk about the struggle for land in Palestine. We covered the heroic resistance of African prisoners in the St. Louis workhouse. We celebrated Mother's Day by talking with 5 mothers, 2 of whom have been engaged in struggles with social services for the return of their children.
So yeah, Dexter, did you listen to that one? Because as you know, that was a special one for me. Where I actually had my mom and Comrade Mwabi's mom on the show as well. So Did you listen to that one?
I did. Yeah, I definitely did. And I appreciated again just the unique perspective that we can only give on this station on the Black Power 96.
Right. In many ways, I think that one really hit home. And you know what? When the one that we did for DJ with DJ Eddie on it, I don't know if that was actually for Black Music Month, which is in June, but it actually coincided with Father's Day. And if y'all know DJ Eddie's father was a part of the Florida Spiritual Heirs, and we were able to play some of DJ Eddie's father's music on the show. So it really was an important show that I think directly speaks towards the real uniqueness and significance of the show, really underscoring that idea of the local gone global as well. But Dexter, you actually appeared as a guest on a show about DMX.
I did.
Tell us a little bit about that one.
I sure did. Yeah. That was a special one for myself. But yeah, DMX had a really, in my opinion, I think a lot of people would agree that he had a very unique role as far as culture work in the African community, and we felt that DMX in his music really conveyed the experience of being a colonized African in a way that not many artists did. So I had the honor of being able to come on to the People's War. It's my first time being on the People's War show, and engage in discussion about that. And I understand that, Matsemela, you're a fan of yourself. We were able to bring on president of the African National Women's Organization, Yejide Mila, who was also a fan of DMX. And again, just a unique perspective that we're able to give on this platform as African internationalists is really made for a really exciting discussion. How'd you experience that?
Yeah, you know what? I think that it really allowed for the ideology and the politics that we try to bring here on this show to shine, and let people know that it's really providing a much needed African working class perspective on every aspect of our life. I really appreciated you and your defense of DMX because of the fact that, when people speak of DMX, they speak of his contradictions. But the thing that you reminded us was that those contradictions were not DMX's contradictions. They were the contradictions of the colonial virus, as our song talks about, and directly connected to so many other things. DMX himself was only months apart in age from Tupac Shakur, born not too far from Tupac Shakur, and clearly in many ways used his music to speak towards the Black working class and the Black working class experience, even if he did it through the method of what we would generally refer to as self-criticism, right? Looking at his own contradictions and imagining ways to overturn them, or at least being honest about the stuff he struggled with, which in many ways really underscores so much of the different shows we've had since the last fund drive. Just very, very dynamic. I think we're up to 70 or 70 plus shows now. I think actually this week I think is our 70th show. So we've had a show every week of this pandemic, as of us fighting, but understanding that it's not just about simply that. So in that, right, we heard from comrades in Everton West, a township on the outskirts of Johannesburg, South Africa, about the efforts to remove white garbage dumps and separating recyclable trash and turn the land into community food gardens. As people talk about this sort of climate crisis and things like that, we see how the African working class on the African continent is presenting the way forward. We talked to leaders from Project Black Ankh and their telehealth program and the Ask the Doctor series that they have. We even spoke with Mike Africa Jr. about their Free Mumia campaign and reported on the murder of a man by the name of Kevin Desir in the Broward County, Florida Sheriff's. So if you missed any of these shows, you can go and download them and listen to them from our Black Power Talks podcast, wherever you find podcasts. Wherever you get your podcast, you go to Black Power Talks podcast, and we're going to learn more about that. But once again, I'm calling on you all to give your support to this radio station. Go to blackpower96.org/donate, blackpower96.org/donate, or call 888-979-2796, 888-979-2796.
Right, and this is your radio station. This is your radio station that we're talking about. So yeah, so make sure you go and make those donations so we can make sure it keeps going.
And if you are watching on Facebook, leave a comment. Let us know how much you are donating on Facebook. Like I said, leave us some information in the comments so we can give you a shout out.
Uhuru. So, you know, there's no other show and no other FM radio station that delivers this kind of information that we provide on Black Power 96 and the People's War Show. You're not going to find this kind of information and analysis anywhere else. We're talking about our voices. We're talking about our stories and our own narrative, you know, uninterrupted by any other kind of institution or anything else out there. We're not being censored in any way, shape, or form. That's the benefit of having our own independent Black Power radio station that we're talking about supporting today. We're talking about our own narrative, given from the perspective of us and serving the interests of us, the African working class. So we support this kind of programming. Again, go now to blackpower96.org and donate. There's no donation too big, no donation too small. Contribute what you can to help sustain this institution. And we have a goal today, just to reiterate, we got a goal today of raising $600 from the listeners and supporters of the People's War Radio Show during this July fund drive of Black Power 96 FM, 96.3 radio station. And we also have some thank you gifts we would like to be sending out to our donors this spring, the summer. Let's have a look. Let's get to the give back slides. All right. Now let's see what shows are currently carrying the People's War Radio Show. As you can see, we are ever expanding, we're ever growing. The People's War Radio Show is currently airing on WBPU in St. Petersburg, Florida, operated by the African People's Education and Defense Fund. WUBP in St. Petersburg, Florida, operated by the All African People's Development and Empowerment Project. Oh, Matsemela, do you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah. You know, we got such great updates and information to give everybody about how we're going, but we did want to show you all the give backs. So let's go on and move ahead a little bit in the slideshow, and then we'll tell you all some of the give backs that we have going on. So we got some great special thank yous coming for people who donate to Black Power 96 as a part of this fund drive. So let's go to the next page. If you donate $25 a month as a sustainer, or make a one-time donation of $300, you will get a 25-ounce aluminum Black Power 96 water bottle with the matte black. This is perfect for these hot summer days, staying hydrated. You can stay hydrated, look sleek, and support Black Power Radio while you do it.
Right, look sleek with your sleek bottom.
Right. Exactly. Next. So remember, go to blackpower96.org. Blackpower96.org to donate. So now, Dex, let's get into the achievements that Black Power 96 as well as the People's War Show have been doing. But to do this, I like to bring on Director Akile. Director Akile Anai is the Director of Agitation and Propaganda for the African People's Socialist Party. She is over Black Power 96 as well as all other functions of Black Power, Burning Spear Media. So in bringing on Director Akile, Uhuru, Director Akile.
Uhuru, Director.
Uhuru. So we got a special guest. Are you going to hit us with any poetry today, Director Akile?
I'm not, despite the vibe that I'm giving right now, it's not the poetry. I won't be doing that today.
I know you got your poetry hair on today.
Yeah, had to put that one on.
Okay. So let's get into this, because one of the great achievements of the People's War Radio Show in the recent period has been our expansion onto multiple podcast platforms and the adoption of the show onto community radio stations around the world. To be honest, I know Dexter can give you some of this information, but when we look at the streaming information, there are regular streams and downloads of the podcast as far as where South Africa, Australia, monthly. I'm talking about monthly in South Africa, Australia, Switzerland, Sweden, and all those other countries that I think they're probably all the same country sometimes, but no disrespect to those countries. But Switzerland and Sweden not even next to each other, but in my mind they're right next to each other. But no, so as far north as Northern Europe, as far south as Southern Africa, as far away as Australia, throughout the Pacific, throughout the Caribbean, we see regular downloads, regular streams, and it really reflects the African internationalist perspective that we bring on this show. So Dexter.
Right on. Uhuru, yeah, so we can put on the slide real quick. The slide depicting the list of stations we're currently broadcasting on. All right, yeah. So before we get into this, just to kind of piggyback off what Matsemela said, our growing expansion definitely does reflect the African nationalist influence that's been growing throughout our world, throughout our people. We can see that everybody wants to be free. All the people want to be free. And when they're exposed to this line, and people have really just been excited about getting involved any way they can. So we see on here all the different stations where we're currently airing the People's War. We got WBPU in St. Petersburg, Florida, WUBP in St. Petersburg, Florida, operated by the All African People's Development and Empowerment Project. WMXP in Greenville, South Carolina, operated by the Malcolm X Grassroots Movement. KETO in Aurora, Denver, Colorado, operated by Ethiopian Community Television. WHGE in Wilmington, Delaware, operated by the Afro-American Historical Society of Delaware. KOWA in Olympia, Washington, operated by Media Island International. And KEPJ in San Antonio, Texas, operated by the Esperanza Peace and Justice Center.
Uhuru. And one of the things that I would like to also, I think this would be a good surprise, is that KNSD in San Diego, KNSJ, the Social Justice Radio here in San Diego, has committed towards airing the People's Show as well as a part of their weekly news broadcast. So we got some great stuff. When it comes to WMXP, I really want to salute Afia Ngaza, who is a veteran of the African liberation struggle. Afia is the station manager for WMXP, but in the 1960s, Afia was a member of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee and a part of the Atlanta Project. Afia has played a very important role in supporting Afia has played a very important role in supporting the development of Black Pride 96 and the People's War Show. So we want to salute her as well. To KTO and the international audience that they have. They not only stream live on local radio, they also stream on Facebook with international audience all around the world. So salute to them.
Yeah, so with all those stations that are supporting us. We believe that many others out there are also seeing and downloading this program, who we haven't been able to reach yet to confirm that they are broadcasting it. But for all those stations who are airing it, this means that the African Internationalist news and analysis that's provided on the People's War Show is reaching into the cars, the homes and offices of people as they listen to their local stations and may never have heard or even sought out this important perspective beforehand. So, now we're connecting with them around the US and around the world and building our movement and uniting the African nation. And I wanted to also just touch on some of the podcasts that we've been on lately.
Now podcasts. Let's talk a little bit about a podcast. So Dexter, you're going to talk about our podcast and how we can get it. We have a very unique podcast. Some podcasts get out there and they might be 5 hours long or something like that. Every week we produce an under 60-minute podcast that allows for us to regularly give you all African internationalist news updates. But as well, we're able to be picked up around the world. You can get this podcast on any of your podcast platforms, and Dexter's about to let you all know those different podcast platforms that we're on. Because right, I want to salute you too, Dexter, because Dexter, he's being humble right now, but Dexter has played a very, very important role in getting us on so many platforms that we couldn't put them all on this slide right now. So literally, when we say wherever you get your podcast, Dexter.
Yeah, wherever. You can see right here, and I really appreciate that salute, comrade. But yeah, we're available on Podbean. iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, which are some of the top 3 real major streaming platforms that most people get their podcasts from. But beyond there, we're available on Listen Notes, Spotify, Audible, Stitcher, TuneIn and Alexa, Player FM, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Castro, Castbox, Podcast Addicts, Podbay, Podtail, Podchase, and Podcast Republic. And the reason we're on all these platforms, because so many of these platforms, particularly the smaller ones, they really tap into more smaller or niche demographics. There are many people who may not be interested in the iHeart or the Apple podcast, but interested in a particular kind of thing that they may find on Podchase or Podcast Republic. So again, it's important for us to make sure that our content is available and accessible on every single platform, because everybody on all these different platforms are looking for, trust me, they're looking for what we have to say, they're looking for our theory. So it's really important that we're available any single place that you can find streams. We're about to be on an iPod shuffle at some point. So yeah, Uhuru, and I really want to just appreciate Matsemela and Comrade Director Kile for leading this whole operation as well.
Uhuru. And you know what? Just to talk a little bit more about the People's War Show, the People's War Radio Show, is we talked about is being broadcast on multiple radio stations. I want to salute Harmon Carey, in Wilmington, who leads a dynamic service, Wilmington, Delaware. Leads a dynamic service, and we look forward to working with him. Also, the station in San Antonio at the Esperanza Center is very unique, but also really underscores the importance of the perspective that we have here coming from the People's War Show, which really understands the struggles of African liberation connected to the struggles of all people, and underscores the special connection we have to the struggle of indigenous and Mexican people. So it's an indigenous and Mexican, largely indigenous Mexican audience,
right?
And we're excited to be able to connect with them. So I want to also talk about the Pacifica Network. So the People's War Show is also being aired on several other radio stations around the country. Some of these, like the radio station out of Olympia, Washington, found ourselves as part of Pacifica affiliates. So some of these stations are part of the Pacifica affiliate network and download the show through Pacifica's distribution. And some are not affiliated and get the show directly from our podcast site, Podbean. So if you actually have a radio station right now, you want to pull down the show, you can go to podbean.com, wubp.podbean.com, and you can actually access what's called our RSS feed. I know I didn't know what it was until I got into podcasting, but we do have an RSS feed. But nevertheless, I want to salute the radio station out of Olympia, Washington, as well as the other people who get it through the affiliate networks and going straight to podbean.com.
And even what you said about, just not knowing about RSS feeds prior, I mean, that's a testament to all the skills we do end up obtaining through doing this work. So let's keep the station going. Uhuru.
Uhuru.
So at this point, I think we want to pass it over to our comrade, Director Akile.
Okie dokie. Well, thank you, Dexter and Matsemela, for just, first of all, this program and the People's War Radio Show, which is a really dynamic program, and, for all the reasons that have been expressed up to this point. And I want to unite and also encourage those supporters of this show to donate to Black Power 96.3 FM, which is, the main instrument that is really pushing this show out there. It is a program of Black Power 96, and it's one of the many, different opportunities, and it's a consequence of the many different struggles that Black Power 96 is making to get the worldview of African internationalism out into the world, out to a broader audience, and using different topics, as we've seen, just discussed, to, be able to reach people where they are politically, based on, the certain discussions that they're having, whether it's, discussions around what's happening in their local communities, what's happening, with the Olympics, what's happening, in all these different places around all these different topics, that we can address each situation with the understanding the theory of African internationalism, to give us the understanding, to contextualize what it is that we are experiencing, and to, bring us to a greater conclusion that what it is that we experience wherever it is that we're located, the different kinds of assaults, colonial assaults, attacks that we, have to endure, the attacks that we are constantly under, and how those attacks manifest, they're all related to a core contradiction, which, as is stated by the maestra Alicia Ngoma in the song, it's the colonial virus. So I just, again, really want to salute the show team who, has really who took the vision of Chairman Amalia Shatella and Deputy Chair Onizine Shatella. And I just want to recognize our leadership, Chairman as the leader and founder of the Uhuru movement, and the visionary behind what Black Power 96 is aiming to do, what it's supposed to do, what purpose it's supposed to serve. And Deputy Chair Onizine Shatella, who's the president of the African People's Education and Defense Fund, which Black Power 96 is a project of. And taking this strategy that was developed, through the process of trying to figure out how are we going to navigate this, the first and foremost, the pandemic? How do we explain this as a part of the entire crisis that the social system of colonial capitalism is experiencing? And thus the People's War Show was born. And these comrades have taken this show and, brought it well beyond just, dealing with the pandemic, but tying the pandemic to the overall global situation. And that is expressed through all of the shows, all of the people we interview, all of those that we have come in contact with to even, broaden how many, the different platforms that this show is on. It started from, this point of tackling this issue and being able to sum up the current situation for the people, and has blossomed into this really incredible dynamic staple of Black Power 96 radio. So I just wanted to salute this team for that. And, I want to say that one of Black Power 96's responsibilities is to be a catalyst for a Black Power radio network that, we have to have the ability to, because right now we function in the South Side of St. Petersburg, Florida. If you're listening right now, that's where I'm located. South Side St. Pete is broadcasting in this area. And so the poor and working class African community here gets the direct, and immediate access to this station and the content that's put out. But and as important and critical as that is for this community to have the analysis of African internationalism, that Black Power 96 has to be a starting point to open this up, for the rest of the world, and to, build the capacity for Black power to be aired, to be, to penetrate the airwaves. And that is what we see really happening through the organizing work of the People's War Show, because the People's War Show doesn't just produce a dynamic show that you can enjoy, right? That inspires you, that even moves you to do something. It's working outside of producing a show. It's working to really consolidate relationships with others who are open, to the possibility of, connecting with, connecting with us to really build the influence of the African working class and the worldview of the African working class. And this is all the things that the People's War Show is accomplishing, and why it's so critical for us to then support that work. Because I don't know, any other like radio station out there, like the big, media, the ones that are consist of the 80% of the media, or was it 90% of the media that's owned by like 6 corporations. I don't know any of those stations that, have a show team where they're not just producing, content and, musical content and, and having discussions that really don't take our people anywhere, but they're actually actively organizing and pushing a process of uniting African people and others who can be united to this vision, to this strategy, and uniting them as a process of bringing them into a Black Power radio network where African people have access to the airwaves and are able to state our interests explicitly, not a liberal white leftist agenda or anything like that, but we are able to state our interests explicitly as the African working class. And, we don't have to be beholden to anyone to do that. And we can massify our efforts through this process of consolidating the Black Power Radio Network. So seeing the People's War Show in this context as a catalyst for this, I think is really important for people to understand, and is, the reason why we have to support this show. We have to support the organizing work of this show. The People's War Show is an organizing tool. And we see that being the practical reality every day. So again, just want to salute, the People's War Radio Show for all the incredible work that you guys have been doing up to now. And, again, just call on all of you who are watching, fans, supporters of the show, people who haven't heard of this show yet, but are going to be listening to it right after we get off of this call. You're going to catch every episode on demand, to support Black Power 96 or support Black Power 96 by way of supporting the People's War Show at this time. So, uhuru.
Uhuru, Director Kile. So we know that we got big plans, we got big things. So if you can, what can you tell us about maybe the future of the station, and even what do you think the future of Black Power Radio is in the US and around the world?
Real, yeah. Well, I mean, I want to talk about first, just kind of go over some of the successes we experienced in the July member drive up to now, because I feel it's really important for people who have been supporting this station, who may be watching now, to be able to see everything that we've done and what we plan to do and what we will continue to do. So as it's been stated, we concluded our July member drive formally on the 31st, and it was a 2-week drive. We had to raise $7,000, and we exceeded our goal. So just in 2 weeks, $7,000 from supporters like you. So that was really exciting. And another one of our staple programs is the Omali Taught Me Sunday Study, which is a show that is a live political education session with Chairman Omali Yeshitela, and it airs on Black Power 96 FM. So people driving in their cars or downloading the app can listen to this PE session. So the Omali Taught Me show is a really popular show. It predates the existence of Black Power 96, so we're really honored to have it. And that show exceeded its goal of $2,000 the first weekend. So we came right out the gate, raising over $2,000 to the Omali Taught Me show. Also a really important show, Reparations in Action, that is conducted by leaders of the African People's Solidarity Committee and the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. Want to just also shout out Reparations in Action as another critical show that airs on Black Power 96, also exceeded its goal. And we and every programmer, I can't leave here because I'll probably get a call and be chastised if I don't mention Assistant Station Manager DJ Eddie, who is actually engineering right now for this show to broadcast live on the FM. But Assistant Station Manager DJ Eddie was pivotal in this whole process, through his own shows, calling on his own base, a base that he's been building for years, and even prior to him coming into Black Power 96, a relationship that he has developed with the city of St. Petersburg and throughout St. Pete and throughout this country, really, with different artists, cultural performers, things like that. So, DJ Eddie played a really critical role throughout this whole process. Our programmers, DJ Larry Faison, who's also been with us, the original Florida Spiritual Airs gospel program. So, we've had these incredible programs. We had Norman Jalali Richmond and Melinda Francis with Diasporic Music that is engineered out of Toronto, Canada. And this is, Black music history straight from this, Black music historian, Jalali. So I want to shout out those programmers. But we organized this really powerful virtual concert to close out the fund drive. And it featured performances from cultural workers all throughout this country. And we had some St. Pete staples. We've had, local going global winners, Crunk Coco, Bus Stop Band, and all the way to a two-time Grammy Award winning Gerald Alston of the Manhattan. So it was really powerful, and also opened up so many doors on that front with this relationship with Gerald. So it was an incredible concert. It was such a great time, and we also fundraised during this period as well. And we've also, throughout this process of from the start of the pandemic to now, we have brought in many volunteers to work in Black Power 96. So you've heard about a Pipsa who helped to do the mixing of the People's War theme song. A Pipsa is in Kuwait, our youngest volunteer. And we've had so many volunteers come in. Shout out to Smokey, who is one of our studio engineers. And so many others that really contributed to making this whole fund drive a success. And in terms of the future of Black Power 96, of course, we want to be able to just amplify the work that's happening on the ground here. Always have the state of the art equipment for Black Power 96 to continue to continue providing the most quality sound possible to our listeners. Also looking at having, full-time staff in Black Power 96 to, be able to, amp up the programming even more with more live programming, more, African internationalist politic on the air, embedded in all of the content that's coming out. And just, growing the capacity of our station, growing the reach of our station. So those are some of the things that we can look forward to, in the immediate future. And that's what, again, you support when you donate to Black Power 96.3 FM. So that's what I wanted to, just give people a peek into and just keep a close eye out on, the updates of Black Power 96, because big things are going to happen very soon, especially with your support. So, crew, thank you.
Big things happening, right?
Ooh. Big things popping.
Big things popping. I was about to say.
Come on now. Yeah, T.I. got something right.
No. We can't say his name though. He
must not be named. Got something right.
It's kind of like Beetlejuice or Candyman, right?
Now you can say Beetlejuice.
Like if you say T.I.'s name 3 times, he'll appear and say something backwards.
Somewhere you're gonna appear with a dictionary in the
Oh my. But all right. So everybody remember, go to blackpower96.org/donate and donate, or you can go to 888-979-2796 and donate. Right. So we would like to get to announcing some of these donations that have come in. First and foremost, I want to shout out to the Odom family, far and wide. I don't know if that's Lamar Odom or my close relatives, but nevertheless, shout out to the shout out to the Odom family for a $250 donation. Thank you very much for your support to all that we do here at Black Power 96. Let's see. Who else, Dexter?
Okay, I also want to salute Sandra Forrest from Oregon, who's pledged $100 today. Salute you, Sandra.
Let's salute Lisa. Lisa from Minneapolis. Lisa from Minneapolis was also pledged $100.
All right. Also, who we got? We got Matum. We got Matum Umyobe from Philadelphia, who was donated $25. Salute Matum, who just became the head of the Philly branch of the African People's Socialist Party. Salute you, Matum.
Oh wow, salute to Matum, a real veteran and leader in the struggle. Yes, so and he's one of many people in the movement with the name M and MAT. I'm telling you, it's Matsemela, Matum, all these names. I be forgetting my own name sometimes. That's just, that M a strong name. And then we also have a $50 anonymous donation. Regardless who you are, I want to thank you for that anonymous donation. So that takes us right now to $525.
We almost there.
$75 away from our total. $525, only $75 away from our total. What do you think? You think we can do that, Dexter?
I think of course we can do it. Y'all think we can do that today? I'm gonna kick it off. I'm gonna donate $25 myself. Let's put my name on the spreadsheet right quick.
So I see a lot of comrades on Facebook. I want to give you a shout out, but you got to go to blackpower96.org. But I want to shout out, we got people come all the way from Senegal. So someone said Senegal in the house. Want to give a shout out to everybody over in Senegal. right now watching and listening. There's people from Huntsville, Alabama, watching right now, from Houston, Texas, the land of the screw. Houston, Texas, please go on and listen to our show we did on Juneteenth, the Juneteenth episode. We got a comrade out of Pomona, California, watching right now as well, on the outskirts of Los Angeles, and all throughout Florida. We know that we got people watching throughout the African continent, all throughout the United States. Go on to blackpower96.org and let's see what else we have. So now we're up to $550. $550.
Come on,
Let's see if we can do it.
Who got $5? Who got 10? You need
Right,
10 people. What, 10 people, $5?
Right, we need 10 people, $5.
Quick math.
5 people with $10.
Come on, we can make this happen today. I know y'all supporting a Black Power institution today. I know y'all want to support Black Power radio station today. Black Power 96. Let's make this happen.
Because one of the things that we talk about is this idea of dual and contending power, right?
Right.
What dual and contending power is we creating the institutions, right, to build power within our community, but also to contend with the power of colonial structures. And we're the only people who can do that ourselves. But also, if you aren't African and you're watching and you're in solidarity with and unity with the African struggle for liberation, and if you're in support for Black Power 96 and the need for Black Power Radio, go to blackpower96.org. St. Pete listeners, you can call our 888 number, 888-979-2796, or go to the Uhuru House on 18th Ave South and 13th Street. Go to the station and drop off your donations there as well. If you can't donate today, give us a pledge in the chat, and when you will donate. If you can't donate today, give us a pledge in the chat, and let us let us know when you will donate. So salute. Yeah. Yeah. I know we're wrapping up today, but we want to send out some salutes.
We want to shout out to DJ Eddie one more time. He's been an engineer in St. Petersburg, the best blind DJ you'll ever hear. So salute to you, comrade, being one of the behind the scenes workers today.
Uhuru. And lastly, you know what? Just want to remind you all of the premium gifts that you will receive. Want to remind you all of the premium gifts that you will receive if you donate right now. If you donate $25 a month or a pledge that of $300, you will receive this magnificent Black Power 96 a water bottle, aluminum water bottle. They're coming either a monthly sustainer at $25 or more, or making a one-time donation for $300. Matte Black, Black Power 96 on it, keychain adapter, 25-ounce aluminum water bottle.
The only way to keep hydrated.
Right. Ooh. So that is going to conclude today's broadcast. We want to once again thank all of our donors. Oh, we got some more donations coming in. We got
Soliana.
We got Soliana, who just came in with $25, leaving us $25 away from our goal. So now we're up to $575. I know we can get another $25 in. So go on and toss that pledge inside the chat. But nevertheless, want to thank the Odom family. Want to thank Sandra out of Oregon. Want to thank Lisa out of Minneapolis, Matum out of Philadelphia, our anonymous donor. Want to thank you, Dexter, and Soliana for helping us get $575 to support Black Power Radio today.
You know, Matsemela, that anonymous donor might have been T.I.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it wasn't.
I mean, you said his name enough times. I'm sure we summoned him somehow. Donated to Black Power 96 today. $25 away. I know we can make that goal before we get off of here today. Facebook.
All right. So thank you, everybody. And we'll be looking out for that extra 25 in the comments and in the donation bin. So thank you, everybody, for listening live in St. Petersburg, Florida. Remember to go down to the corner of 13th Ave South and 18th Street and donate directly at our station. If you want to call in by phone, 18th Ave and 13th Street and South
Yeah, 18th Avenue South and 13th Street.
And donate at the Black Power 96 radio station. Also, if you're calling in, you can call in to 888-979-2796 or go to blackpower96.org/donate. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in.